Greetings, everybody. This is Matthew Wagner over at NOECA, and this is a training video specifically for Fremont Ross High School. They've got a little bit different report card situation than any of our other schools, so I'm going to go in here and get into the nuances of what exactly is going on. Now, I've kind of scrunched the screen down, so I'm not showing any, this is real data, but I'm not showing any students' names, so um, we're going to go over the new 50% policy. So if Fremont Ross, now a student, if they get an F, can't really get below a 50% like we were doing on the first semester. We're going forward from this point, I'm going to show you what's changed and what the important differences are here at Fremont Ross. So the first thing you may notice is on this percent line here. Before it just said does not appear in a report card. This percent line was not important at all because when it went to figure your final grade over here, when it went to figure that, it would actually go back to quarter one, look in your grade book and say, what's in your grade book for that student? It would actually use that grade book grade for calculating the semester, regardless of what was here on the report card. Now that has changed entirely. Now the most important grades in terms of your semester are this percent line here for quarter one, this percent line here for quarter two, or in our next semester case will be quarter three and quarter four, the percent line for semester one exam, or next quarter semester two exam. And these three buckets here are going to calculate both the letter grade for the semester and tell you what that letter grade was based off of. So it's going to tell you what the final percentage was for that semester. So once we get into semester two, we'll be able to use this scenario in the same way. But since we just started putting this policy in the system and we're not into the end of the year yet, we're going to look at quarter one, quarter two, semester one, and exam. So the first thing where we're going to run into this is quarter three. So we'll just pretend that we're in quarter three. I'm going to go with a student. I'm going to go ahead and check them for quarter one. We can see that their quarter one average was below a 50. When I press check mark and equal sign, it brings in that they in fact failed and got a 45. And here's where the magic happens. As soon as we press the blue save button, it gives us a little message. And the little message, I can't really see it and I'm not scrolling up because I don't want to expose the student's name. But basically it's telling us that it's going to override the grade because it's below 50%. It may not say that specifically. It may just say there's certain overrides that are going to happen, but I'm just going to press OK. And you can see what it's actually doing is saw that all of these grades are below 50%, and so it kind of bumped them up. But it would basically bump it up for that certain quarter, and it would save it, and that would be it. So it would automatically bump up any grade showing less than 50. And keep in mind that this 50 is now ultra important in terms of figuring a final. Same thing will happen during quarter two. You just want to make sure that this grade on the report card is always accurate. So if you submit a grade and then after the fact change something in your grade book, whether it was something you forgot to put in or a student had an incomplete and you're putting in a late assignment, if you ever change anything after you submit the grades, you need to come back to the screen and resubmit that grade so we can get an accurate percentage for what that student captured that quarter. If the window is closed and it wasn't incomplete and they turn in some assignments 2 weeks in the next quarter, you need to put those grades in your grade book, look up what that percentage is, and tell the office that the percentage here needs to be updated because this needs to be accurate for the student's grade to also be accurate for the final. So I'll show you how that happened for what's going to happen for quarter three. Same thing will happen for quarter four. You'll hit check mark equal sign. It'll bring it in. If any students are less than 50, when you hit save, it'll say it's doing the overwrite. You press OK, and anybody that was less than 50 will become a 50. Same thing will happen on the exam. Now there's a little bit difference going on in the exam. It used to be this box wasn't here at all. You had one box to plug in the exam grade, and you would just go ahead and plug them all in. Now there's actually 2 boxes. Both of them have to be filled in, but you don't have to type in both by hand. If I give this kid a 25, and I'm just going to hit check mark and equal sign. There we go. I hit the check mark and equal sign. You see what's going to actually happen is that it will copy the top grade down to the bottom. So you only have to type in the grades in the top box. It will copy down the bottom box if you press the check mark and equal sign for the semester. You're going to want to press the check mark and equal sign for the semester, or excuse me, for the exam before you calculate your semester grade, because the bottom box is what calculates out to the semester. The top box, just if you want to know technically, is what's sending, in this case, an F to the physical report card it actually prints out. These cards still, or these grades of percent line, still do not print on the physical card, but are what's running in the background to calculate the student's semester. So you saw that when I press check mark and equal sign, so you can plug in the top box for every kid, press check mark equal sign, it's going to copy down to the bottom box. Now in this particular student, he got below a 50% on the final. So when I go to hit save, it's going to give me that same message. Hey, there's some kids that got below 50%. I'm going to override it. I press OK. Notice that it took the kid's grade and it made it 50% in both boxes, because both boxes, once again, a student can't score below a 50. So since he got 25, he gets a 50. If I would have put in a 75, press the check mark equal sign save, nothing would have happened. So if I clear this out, give this kid a 75, check mark and equal sign, and hit save, you can see that it made the 75 and it took it without overriding it and making it into a 50. If I was to check mark and do the semester 1 grade, because he got 75 on the exam now, he's obviously going to do better. He would get a 55% F. Save it. But it all depends on what's in these boxes. I can literally manipulate the student's grade by giving him 100. And if I press check mark and equal sign, so now it's giving him a 75C. But that's not actually the case. So you can see that these grades in these boxes are very important to actually calculate the student's grade correctly. These boxes have to be right, and they're only going to be available when the windows are open. So if you're wondering what's going on with how that 55 is made, that's it's 20, it's 40 40 20 on each quarter, 40%, 40%, 20%, or each of these are worth 2 times, and that's worth a single time. So I don't know if anybody has any questions. You can go ahead, email matt@nweka.org. Just covering it again one more time real quick. Any grades, when you press save, will upgrade up to 50. These grades here are very important. These both need to be filled in for the exam. When you press check mark and equal sign on the exam column, it will copy the top grade down to the bottom. I'll show that again real quick. I'm going to give this kid a 25. I'm going to check mark and equal sign to quarter. Let's say it puts them both at 25 because that's below a 50. When I hit save, it says it's going to overwrite that. I press OK. Boom, they're 50. Now when I go to do the semester, it's going to base it on this grade, this grade, this grade. Since they're all 50s, it's obviously going to average out to a 50, and the student's getting a 50% F for the semester. But it's going to take those 3 boxes into account to figure that semester. So if anybody has any questions, once again, you can email me, matt@nweka.org. But that is how the report cards are now currently working. If you're curious about on the other side of the equation, the parents would see the gradebook grade. So let's say the kid got a 35% for this quarter. The parent would see that on the gradebook or the gradebook side. And then when the parent goes to look at the report card, they would see that 35 was actually bumped up to a 50 on the report card, just like you would see on this screen here. Parents have a similar screen where they can see these marks, and they can see those percent lines to see how those grades are calculating toward the final. So the parents will be able to see both sides of the equation, what the student actually achieved and what the student got after they got the bump. Another note, year-to-date grades. If a student does get below a 50% for any particular quarter, their year-to-date grade is going to show artificially low because the year-to-date grade, the way that works, calculates off of the grade book. And since the grade book didn't get a bump, like the report card got a bump, the student's year-to-date grade would show artificially low. So they may be passing with a D, even though the year-to-date grade is showing an F. In that rare situation, it's not going to happen often. That kids get these really low grades, hopefully. But if a kid was to get a really low grade, their year-to-date grade may appear artificially low. So if you're ever dealing with a student and you know they have got a low grade, you can tell them when you're looking at your year-to-date grade in this class, it's not going to be quite as bad as what they're seeing. So if you have any questions, email matt@noika.org. I appreciate your time for watching the video. See you later.